Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Tylord and I'm here with Let's Play World of Warcraft Project Ascension. I'm here in the Silver Pine Forest training up. I abandoned my old dog, my old doggo. He was just a random warg, a black warg. And I've come back. I know I mentioned in an earlier episode I wanted to tame this elite wolf Gorfang, because he had a unique skin I think he in Wrath of the Lich King away, because game is running on the Wrath of the Lich King client. It's a very unique skin, completely white compared to all other wolf skins, with white underbody, sort of a grayish, brownish gray on top. But yeah, it's a fairly unique skin for wargs, for wolves. It is a wolf class type pet. What did I name? I named my first one on my main character I was playing on. I trained this little doggo, and I named him Ghost after the show Game of Thrones. I'm still not sure what I want to name him. Might just call him something like Pupper. Something dumb and memey that you guys can be like, oh, yeah. Nice name, bruh. And I'll be like, hey, thanks. So, we got this out of the way. I wasn't sure if I wanted to record this interaction, but I made my way from Barrens over here. Silver Pine Forest, if you guys don't know, is just south of Tearsfall Glades. It's the next zone you'll want to go to if you want to continue questing in the Eastern Kingdoms as an undead. I didn't want to come to Silver Pine Forest and Wrath of the Lich King. There's not too many great quests here, so I went to the Barrens instead. So I'm going to cut away, and I'll head back. I still have a lot of quests to do over in the Barrens. But just so you guys know, I did abandon my old pet right before and tamed this little bad boy. So that's that. I'll see you guys over back in the Barrens where we can do more quests. Alrighty, everybody, we are here in the Barrens at Ichiaka's lair, located just north of the Groldrum farm. So we are going to want to blow the horn of Ichiaka, and that will summon him. He's a level 16 regular old mob, not elite or anything of the sort, so he's not going to be too difficult to take down. My pet actually aggroed him immediately, and since I trained him up at 13, he's still level 13. My wolf here, I still haven't renamed him yet, so he's going to be leveling up after a couple kills here and there until he matches our level at 17, and then how pet leveling works back in Wrath of the Lich King anyway is once you level up, then your pet will start gaining experience like you do, and then they'll level up. So that you'll only be the same level until you level up again, and then they have to catch up a whole level. It's kind of a weird leveling system for pets, but that's how they did it back in Wrath of the Lich King. So that was Ichiaka. He was just a regular old level 16 lion type of opponent. No special abilities or anything like that, but he will spawn exactly where you blow the horn, and if you don't have a pet, then he'll probably, obviously if you don't have a pet, he's going to aggro you because you're the only mob he can aggro. So I'm going to cut away now and head on down to do all of these quests over here by the Stagnant Oasis, so I'll see you guys down there. Alright, everybody, we are here at the Stagnant Oasis. We're going to want to dive in the water, and you're going to notice immediately that there are a bunch of aggressive mobs here called Oasis Snapjaws. You don't have to kill them yet. There's a follow-up quest to the quest we're going to be doing right now, the Stagnant Oasis, which is called Altered Beings, and that requires us of collecting 8 altered snapjaw shell fragments or something of the like, and so you don't have to kill these snapjaws just yet. If you want all that extra experience, then by all means, of course, go ahead and kill them, but we're gonna have to kill around 8 or so in the follow-up quest anyway, so it's completely unnecessary to do so now. But more likely than not, they will be aggroing you underwater just like they are with myself right now. So you're gonna head underwater to this little section. Die already, Jesus. It's called the Bubbling Fissure, and you're going to want to right-click on it, or alternatively you can right-click these dried seeds you have in your bag, and there you're planting the seeds into the Stagnant Oasis, and, well, nothing happens just yet, but something kind of starts growing out of the water, or out of the Bubbling Fissure, and then when you go back and report to the Torn and the Crossroads, he's like, oh my gosh, my seeds work, wow, what a revelation. Fucking Hamul Rune Totem's gonna want to know about this in Thunderbluff, and then you're like, oh, I don't want to go all the way out into Thunderbluff. So I'm not cutting away just yet. I'm going to head over to this little ramped area over here, or I should say this little hut that has a ramp leading up to it. Now sometimes Verog will already be summoned. It doesn't appear to be the case this time. Oh, he is actually. I lied. There's 3 of them. Wow. Cool. So this is for the quest Verog the Dervish, obviously, that I've had for quite some time. But so we're gonna want to kill him and collect his head. Take back to Regthar Deathgate in the Barrens. Normally, what you'll want to do is he won't. Usually, most of the time, he won't just be there already summoned. You're gonna have to kill a couple Kolkar in the surrounding area. So there's a couple little encampments here and there scattered around. You're gonna probably kill around 5 to 10 Kolkar, and then he'll He'll be summoned, and he'll say, "Oh, you've been killing my Kolkar brothers. Come challenge me. I'm Verog the Dervish." He'll yell it. So it's pretty much when you summon him for this quest, you can see it zone wide. It's sort of like a zone wide sort of yell, I guess. I don't know. Like when you slash yell, people in a larger radius can see what you've yelled, as opposed to just like /s, which is just say. So when you just talk normally, not many people will say it, but it's like a zone-wide event was the word I was looking for. It was escaping my tongue for a second. And I actually have full rage. Wow, that's funny. I should invest. He disappeared before I could loot him. What? What? Oh, what the hell? Oh, man. That's so lame. Why'd he disappear like that? I didn't get a chance to loot him. Now I'm going to have to kill more Kolkar. Wow. Great game, devs at Project Ascension, ruining my experience here on the server. Nah, that's not too bad. I guess it's just more experience. I'll probably level up pretty soon. That's lame. That's like the first... I don't know if that's like a bug on Project Ascension side or just like a weird... It has to be, right? I don't think I've ever had Verog just disappear on me like that before. That's so bizarre. So we're gonna have to kill a bunch of these Kolkar. I would say I'd cut away, but I think after like 1 or 2 more kills, I should level up, and I don't want you guys missing any of the action. So let's kill some random mobs. Luckily, my ghost, or my wolf, which I haven't named Ghost yet. I don't think I will. I don't know what I want to name him yet, but he has a growl ability, which is sort of like a taunt. Your pet growls at the target, generating threat and increasing the likelihood the target will attack it. So it's sort of like the warrior's taunt, although it's not as... It doesn't generate as much threat, so you can still... If you out-damage your wolf, obviously you'll gain aggro of whatever target is focusing on you or your pet. But more often than not, and there we go, ding dong, we've hit level 18, your pet will draw aggro, and this is all a whole new interface that Project Ascension has put into the game in since the last time I played it, since the last big leveling overhaul. Every time you level up, they'll now show you what new abilities are available to you, and in what spec they are. So it's like saying, for example, you've gained new abilities in Arcane Magic. You can learn Amplify Magic, or in Discipline Priest, Dispel Magic, or in Prot Pally, you can get Hand of Freedom now. So that's a neat little thing to have, and you can scroll up through chat and read all the new abilities you can invest in since you've hit 18. And actually, one thing, I think I only have 1 ability essence now. Yeah, I'm on... Normally it should be the opposite. Like on even levels you'll have even numbered ability essences, if that makes sense, because you start at level 1 with 9, and then once you hit 10 you'll have 10, and then so on and so forth. So whatever level you are is how many ability essences you should have, but because I picked Tame Beast, which comes with all these different abilities like Revive Pet, Dismiss Pet, Feed Pet, etc., that costs 5 ability essence, and so now I'm back on odd numbered levels. I will have even numbered ability essences, so I won't be able to learn a new ability every like level 18, level 16, level 20. It's now instead level 19, 21, 23, etc., unless I pick another ability that is odd number, but I don't really think there are. I'd have to go in and check. But speaking of which, let's go into our character upgrades panel. Let's go to stat allocation. We've gained 2 available stat points to put into. I'm just going to keep putting those into stamina and agility. So that's that. And then we have, obviously with 1 ability essence, I can't learn anything new, but we can put another talent ability into whatever talent spec we were going into. So I've already put 5 points into Combat Rogue for dual wield specialization. Now let's go back over to Assassination Rogue and put that into Malice, which increases our melee and range critical strike chance. But really, I'm only putting points in this for the melee critical strike chance. So that will increase by another 1%, and our energy regeneration increases by another 2%. So it's at 8. So we're 4 out of 5 in that spec. So next level we will max out, and then once we hit 20, we can go down to a new tree, which is this tree, the 3rd tier of all the different talent specs. So we can learn Desperate Prayer if we wanted to. That's a priest ability. It actually costs, I believe it's 2 ability essences and 1 talent essence to learn pretty much any spell or skill, like Spirit of Redemption, which really isn't useful. Even as a solo, even if you're leveling up as solo, it's not really useful. I mean, you turn into the Spirit of Redemption for 30 seconds, but it's like you can't really heal anyone because you're dead unless you're grouped up with someone. It's a great ability to have if you're a healer in any party, like in any dungeon run. It's a great ability to have, but obviously you're not going to want that just by yourself. And there we go. So we've killed this Kolkar murderer, and he says, "I am slain. Summon Verog," and then Verog says, "I am summoned. Intruders, come to my tent and face your death." So let's go ahead and head over to his tent, and we won't face our death, but we will cause his. So he's got that part mixed up there just a little bit. And this time I've learned my lesson. I will loot his body immediately after I kill him. I kind of dicked around in his little tent trying to open up his Kolkar's booty, but I don't have the required booty key to do so. And that's that. Pretty easy. Got his head. Bam. Boom, bada bing. Quests are done. We are getting shit done this episode. So I'm going to cut away now. I'll meet you guys back over at the crossroads. Alrighty, everybody, we are here at the crossroads. Let's go ahead and talk to Tonga Rune Totem. Turn in this quest, the Stagnant Oasis. Your findings are amazing. The seeds I gave you were dried and dead. Whatever rests under these oases can create life from nothing. We must study this more. So this is a quest I was talking about earlier, Altered Beings. He wants us to bring 8 altered snapjaw shells back to him, and then after we turn that in, he's going to be like, "Oh, well, this is such an amazing find. Run all the way to Thunder Bluff for me, would ya?" And I'm like, "God, no. That's so far." But I could just fly, so I guess we'll do that anyway. Let's go ahead and talk to Surgera Darkthorn next, and we're going to turn in the quest Ichiaka to her. So she said, "You've beaten Ichiaka, and though his days of hunting are over, his spirit is with you. He will show you the strength found in subtlety and the honor in mercy. Your path is long, hero, but let's continue giving you these gosh dang quests that send you all over the map, killing all these different types of beasts for me. Would ya? Thanks. Do all my work for me, and as a reward, in exchange, you'll get like 3 pieces of silver. That's not nearly enough. The reasonable compensation that I think I should demand from her. But now we're gonna head on out northwest of the crossroads, turn in the quest Verog the Dervish. He's gonna have another follow-up, I believe, maybe 1 or 2 more. And then from then, I think I'll head up and do the quest Harpy Lieutenants. We need to kill, obviously, at least 6 Harpy Lieutenants and collect their rings. So I say at least 6 because the drop rate might not be 100%. It could be something around like 75 or 80. So I might end up killing, like 8 or 9 mobs just to collect the 6. But I guess I'll cut away. I'll meet you guys over by Regthar Deathgate, even though he's just right up there on the horizon. Alrighty, guys, we are here with Mr. Regthar Deathgate himself, the man, the legend, the orc who keeps giving us these goddamn follow-up quests. Let's turn in Verog's head. So we've just been running around with a dude's severed head in our backpack like it's no big deal, and we just whip it out. It's not like it's just been bleeding all over our other fucking belongings in there or anything. But here you go, sir. Here's the head of this Kolkar that you so desperately wanted. And he has a follow-up. Another head. This dude's obsessed with collecting heads, it appears. Because now we need to go kill Hezrul Bloodmark, the leader of the Kolkar Centaurs in the Barrens. And then sever his head. You know, chop that thing off. And bring it back to him again. I don't know what his little weird obsession with collecting heads are, but whew, that man has some issues. So we're not going to be killing Hezrul just yet. I'm going to head north instead of south, which actually, when we go do Hezrul Bloodmark, we can actually also do the quest Altered Beings at the same time. This is over at the Lushwater Oasis, I believe. We can actually complete these quests at either oasis because the altered Snapjaws, or whatever the hell, the Snapjaw turtles, are located at both locations. So both the Lushwater Oasis, which is just south of Wailing Caverns. It's just south. I was gonna say just shy, and that came out saying is just south, which isn't a word. But pretty much the Lushwater Oasis is where the entrance to the Wailing Caverns is, and it's funny because, well, actually, we have this dungeon finder. We don't have the random. Do we have the random dungeon finder? No, we just have the dungeon finder. So even if you use the dungeon finder in Wrath of the Lich King, in this Project Ascension server, you'll still be grouped up with people, but then you'll still have to make your way to the dungeon entrance, which is a little different than how the random dungeon finder works nowadays anyway, or at least on like the Cataclysm servers I play on. So with those, the random dungeon finder, it'll just put you in a group, and then it'll teleport you inside the instance already, so you no longer have to run around the world and then run to the dungeon entrance. But the Wailing Caverns entrance, whoo boy, that is deep within the caverns themselves. It's quite, I mean, I wouldn't even say dangerous. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of elites prowling around inside, but it's just annoying to have to make your way through that entire dungeon just to get into the instance itself. I've actually kind of goofed here. I didn't really want to, like, I'm at the Dry Hills now, and these are where all the Witchwing Harpies are that we're gonna have to kill all these lieutenants and take their rings, but I didn't want to just walk in through like the main road in to the Dry Hills. I usually, when I do this quest and when I do the follow-up, which is to kill the Brood Mother, Selena Broodfeather, I think her name is, if I remember that correctly, I usually, and I'll show you guys on the map, I'll come up over here, kind of where the entrance, the road leads to Ashenvale, and I'll make my way westwards over here, and then from there I'll get up, not on this little mountain top, but I'll run up the side of a mountain, because it's pretty easy just to, like, the way they've created the mountain slopes and all that. Do I have to kill Slayers? Yeah, I have to kill Slayers, actually. So let's go ahead and start killing these guys while I'm rambling on about God knows what. So I run up the mountainside, and that way I can run up along safely without running into all these different mobs. And then I'll make my way down right to where Selena Broodfeather is located. And actually, probably next episode, it won't be this episode obviously, but in the next coming few episodes, whichever episode I do the quest, you'll actually see which route I take. I'll show you guys specifically, so you guys know the specifics of it, because I think it's pretty neat how you can just, you know, run up like the side of a mountain, and then you're on that top of that mountain. You're like, hey, wow, look at me. I didn't know I could go hiking in World of Warcraft, but you can go hiking. It's fairly simple. You just have to run up a mountain, and then there, boom, you've hiked. So we have to kill 3 more Harpy lieutenants, collect their rings. It's actually, this quest is pretty easy. The only mobs that drop these rings are these Witchwing Slayers. There are a few other types of Harpy mobs in the area, like these Wind Callers, for instance, but you don't have to kill them. You only have to kill the Slayers, so just be wary of that, unless you want to kill every single Harpy mob you can get your hands on. because, you know, fuck harpies. They're annoying. Their voices are pretty annoying. No! Oh. Pets have this... It's not even a bug. It might be a bug. They do this weird thing where when you right-click on a mob, because they're in defensive stance, like I could put them into passive, but because they're in defensive and they're assisting you whenever you attack a mob, they just go off and start attacking that mob, even if you haven't already attacked them. Like, all I've done is right-click on them, and then your wolf, for instance, see, like, I right-click on that mob, and the wolf immediately just is just thirsty for blood, wants to go out and kill, which, honestly, that's a pretty good personality trait to have in a little hunting buddy, if you will. Usually there's a couple different elite mobs that patrol around this area. I haven't seen it. I can't remember the exact name of it. It's like a Witchwing sister or something. It has a specific name, but I can't quite recall what it is, and I haven't seen her, so it's possible that somebody's already killed her recently, and so she hasn't respawned yet. And I think I talked about this in the Project Ascension update video I just released a couple days ago, where I was talking about the leveling overhaul that they've done recently and put into effect already. But that was saying that they've increased the amount of experience they give from killing elite mobs, like, by a shit ton, and they've also increased the quality of loot that drops from, you know, just like random elite mobs in the different zones. So it's actually worth it now to go out of your way, like if you know where elite mobs already spawn, like are on like a spawn location or spawn timer. If you already know where they spawn and at what time, specifically server time, that they do spawn, it's worth it to go out of your way and kill them, because they'll give you a big hunk of experience. And actually, speaking of experience, we're 1 kill away from leveling up. So let's kill this random Witchwing Harpy on our way out of town, and boom, we have ding dong, we've reached level 19. We've gained both a talent essence and an ability essence, as we do every level. And we didn't unlock any new abilities. I think that's only on every even level that we unlock new abilities to learn. But we can go to stat allocation and put our 2 points back into stamina and agility, like we've done so in the past. Go back to the assassination rogue talent tree and put our final point into malice. That maxes out this talent, and so our melee and ranged critical strike chance has been increased by 5%, and our energy regeneration rate has been increased by 10%. So that's pretty good. Let's go check out our melee. So it is 15.15%, and I actually picked up. I don't think I showed you guys on screen, but over when I was killing all those Kolkars for the quest Verog the Dervish, I actually looted these Prospector's Cuffs, and so they're not too great. I mean, +2 agi and +1 stam's pretty good, even for like level 19, although that might be a little low. Speaking of which, we are quickly out-leveling all of our quests that we have in our log. At level 20, I'd say we'd probably want to go to the Hillsbrad Foothills, is probably my favorite zone to level in, around 20. So we're getting close there, but so I mean, it's not too great of an item, and but it does have a random enchantment I wanted to talk about really quickly, because that's something that they've also overhauled recently, was their random enchantment system. So this random enchantment is on equipped, it will reduce the duration of any silence or interrupt effect used against the shaman, or in this case the hero, because I mean we're acting as a shaman by wearing this piece of loot. This effect does not stack with other similar effects. So when we're silenced, say we're silenced for 4 seconds, that'll be reduced by 25%, so that would be a second off. It would be a second reduction. So instead of 4 seconds, it'd be 3 seconds, which is pretty nifty. But obviously, I don't think I'll be wearing these for too long. I mean, I feel like once I go to any zone that's my level appropriate for me, when I get a new piece of wrist armor, I can just replace that pretty quickly, because +2 agi, I mean, that's nice, but it's not like anything fancy, like anything incredible or amazing or fantastic or anything like that. So I was going to cut away. We're actually pretty close back to the crossroads, so I think I'll just fill this time to talk more about the random enchantment overhaul that I talked about recently. So if you go to the open character upgrades panel, which is pretty much like the main UI that you're going to be using on this server, if you guys haven't played this server too extensively, there's actually the Tome Collection and the Enchant Collection. The Tome Collection is actually also fairly new, released in the last, I'd say, like month or so. And there are these things that you can loot on the server called tomes, like say Tome of Garrote, which is a rogue ability, which it requires you to be stealthed, and it's like an opener where it will silence the target for like 4 seconds. But if you have Tome of Garrote, it will teach you Garrote, and then you don't have to like spend any ability essences to learn that ability. You can just learn it because you have the tome, and because you have the tome, it'll go in your tome collection, and you can like choose to learn it or unlearn that ability at any time. And the same thing pretty much goes for the enchant collection. You can, it's funny, this would take about a whole video to talk about their new the new overhaul they did to the enchantment system. So I'm not gonna be too extensive on it, but just that it requires these different like mystic runes, mystic extracts, and mystic orbs to use the whole enchant collection system. But essentially, you can extract random enchantments off of gear you have already, and then you will learn that random enchantment, and it'll be in your collection. And then from then, you can use it and put it on it, like you can forge it or reforge it, I should say, on a new piece of gear. So for instance, this one I just got right here, which is the only random enchantment I have on any of my pieces of armor that I have, is reduces the duration of any silence or interrupt effect against you by 25%. If I wanted to, and actually I don't even have a mystic extract, piece of mystic extract to be able to do this, but if I did, you could put it in your little extract bar right here. You'll put it in there. You can extract the random enchantment. I think it destroys the item in the process, the piece of gear in question. It'll destroy that item, but then you'll learn whatever the random enchantment is, and there's 75 pages of all these goddamn random enchantments. So there's a fuck ton. There are a lot. Most of them are just talents that they've made into quote unquote random enchantments and put on different pieces of gear you find throughout the world. But yeah, it's pretty nifty. You can extract the enchantment and then reforge it on a new piece of gear. Whatever your little heart desires, you can pretty much do on this server. It's a whole lot of fun. So let's go ahead and talk to Mr. Swift Dagger here. Give him the 6 Harpy Lieutenant rings and turn that quest in. And this is the follow-up I was talking about before. Slay Serena Bloodfeather and return her head to Darsock Swift Dagger. Again with the heads. I don't get what it is. They really like heads. It's like a little trophy to them. And actually that quest would give us a pretty nice reward. This Harpy Skinner here is a one-handed dagger. You know, I do like my daggers. It's a pretty good upgrade from what I have right now. Plus 3 DPS and then plus 2 agi from my worst weapons. That's pretty nice, you know? I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty nice. And so this is where I'm gonna end off this episode. I leveled up twice, I believe. And as I mentioned in my latest video talking about the leveling overhaul, they did cut the time it takes to level between 1 to 20 in half. So once we do hit 20, we will go back to a normal leveling rates as opposed to what it is now, which is pretty much like reduced by half. So that will not last very long. You won't be seeing too many videos of me leveling up twice in one video, because that's just insanity. So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned some new information about this server. As always, you can check the description. If you haven't played on this server before, I'll put the link in there. It's a lot of fun. I think if you guys like playing World of Warcraft, this is a very new and unique twist on original World of Warcraft, it being a classless server where you can pretty much pick and choose which abilities you want to use on your quote-unquote hero. So until next time, guys, as always, I hope y'all stay classy, and peace out.